All right, thank you for staying with us on the Caribbean Business Exchange. Of course, our coverage of the 19th Regional Investments and Capital Market continues. I have here with me a truly regional gentleman, Mr. Terrence Esseboom. Now, he's from Guyana, but I'll have you know that he's worked with Ghana out of Barbados. He's here in Jamaica today and he's helping us covering the conference. Terrence, welcome to Jamaica and welcome to the JC's conference.
Glad. This time I visited Jamaica officially. The first time I landed here by accident because of flight difficulties, and I had to stay here for about a week. Okay. Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I'm here in an official capacity. Now I can walk around and all kinds of stuff. So I am happy. Good to be here the land of my musical icon, Bob. I mean, he was my icon since I was a teenager, and he still is.
He is. Yeah, well, we just had the premiere of his biopic.
Okay.
At
I
the
have to see that.
Yeah.
I have to see that.
But Terrence, so you, as I said, you're a regional man. You've been in media. You've seen it. Give me your views on what you're seeing in the capital market space and what it looks like across the region for you.
Look, for me personally, it is a learning experience, because I had, before last year when they went to Guyana, I had absolutely very little knowledge about money. Capital markets is zero. So I was forced to learn because I had to go cover, and now I think the bug has bitten me, and so this will be one part of, a central part of some of what I do, because one of the things I think we needed a lot in Guyana, maybe less so regionally, is financial literacy. People to understand that, especially for us journalists, so that when we go to budget presentations, for example, we can ask very probing questions, so that the communities, the populations can be a little bit more savvy, and they will not be hoodwinked by politicians who really love to, carry us down that path.
Absolutely. So Terrence, you were at the Guyana conference. What you saw, what impressed you, what caused the bug to bite you?
Listen, it was literally everything, right? To see where, to know, first of all, I didn't know that all of this was happening in Jamaica, for example, and to know that, okay, Jamaica wants to pull Guyana into this thing, and the prospective benefits that can happen. I mean, I've got to get involved in knowing it, so that I can, put it out there. I mean, in Guyana we have a lot of businesses, and if more, particularly young people, can get involved from early in business, I think we will be in a good place where business is concerned. And if people can get involved in business, you don't have to depend on government, for example, for
much more independent.
Yes, and I think a more independent people will be a little bit more difficult to be manipulated by governments, because you really don't need anything from them. They will need you. We don't, businesses don't need them. Yes.
I'm glad you touched on some of those things. But Guyana is certainly, in coming out of the conference last year, is certainly one of the fastest growing economies in the world. I know you know how oil and all of that. But you will need financing to build out some of those infrastructure, to support some of those projects. Many times, as you talk about government and its role, they will go internationally. But when I spoke to the CEO of the Trinidad Stock Exchange last year, we spoke about the vast sum of capital that's locked away in bank accounts across this region that could be unlocked.
Of course. And I think that will be a good thing if the region can be self-financing. We will be a little bit a little less dependent externally, so that, there's a saying, who pay the piper calls the tune. So if regionally we can finance our projects, I think the region will be a little bit more independent, and we'll have a greater voice if you go to things like UN and so on, because we don't really need your money, right? Like, for example, I know in Guyana at certain levels, like union leaders, they get paid the same salary like a PS. So that when you go to bargain, we're at equal levels. You're not talking down to me, and we need the same thing at international levels, that our people go there and we are on par, right? I think that's one of the things that sometimes we go like, they believe we come panhandling, right? So there's less respect for us. I know the late President Desmond Hoyt at one time went to the IMF, and when they put forward the proposals, I understand that he banged his hand on the desk and asked them, now, what do you think I'm running? A little side business? I'm running the country, right? So sometimes I think if we don't go there as peers,
we can't go with plating.
No, sir. And if we can self-finance in the region, then I think on the global stage we're equal. I think that's what is needed. And this conference is generally I'm a little depressed with the Caribbean, but I think when you come to these things, you get a sense of hope, right? I remember when I was in university, I always left the economics class depressed. And then somebody told me economics is known as the dismal science. Every time I left that class, I found that Guyana is kind of a hopeless. If these things that they're teaching us is true, So I think this here is like a little counter, a little buffer. Listen, there is still hope, and the hope is right here.
Absolutely.
Right here.
And so you've been here today. You've been at the conference all day, and you're hopeful. What has most impressed you? I mean, you've seen the presentations. Finance Minister of Jamaica was there. A number of top speakers. What has most impressed you?
The amount of young women who immensely informed, that are addressing very complex issues. I mean, it is fascinating for me, right? And I think that's one of the other things. Even last year it was the same thing, right? That, listen, this is no longer, as the song says, a man's world. It's no longer a man's world. The women, we got women. We have good women in the region, and we need to see more of them. Yes, and we need to see more of them in the public domain, right? You have to come here to find them, right? But in the public domain, you're seeing faces of old, tired men who got no new ideas, really. And you have all these young people with ideas. I mean, I think, again, this is saying that there is real hope for the region, that our economics, there are brighter prospects because we have the people here. And I know if I put on my other hat, I am a bishop, right? And I know the way how God works is that he prepares his people and he hides them for a long time, waiting for the season. And I'm saying that at some point, all these women that we're seeing here, and a whole army of them, will come forth at the right time.
The season is upon us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Great point.
Yes.
I like the fact that you went not just, so you went women, gender, and then you also went new minds, fresh ideas, which is coming together with the concept of with the theme of this conference, from concept to growth.
Yes. Again, let me keep my religious philosophy hat on. The theme is prophetic. That's where we are heading, and we hope that there will not be a complete diversion next year on the theme, that we can build on it, systematically. We build on the theme, concepts, how you develop concepts, how you steward concepts, because sometimes we have concepts. And, I remember once I read where the U.S. was going to try to patent a steel pan. And I just wonder, you mean we in the Caribbean didn't do that? You mean we didn't do that? So, yes, we have to, the whole concept of stewardship. You have a concept, now how do we steward the concept? How do we protect it? How do we nurture it? How do we scale it? All of those things, the seed of it is here. I hope that the soil is good, right? Sometimes nothing is wrong with the seed, but the soil, right? So we hope that there is good soil, and the seed fell in some good soil, and it will bring forth again you water it, right, sir? You water it, and then you have to have all the sides, the insecticides and the pesticides and the weedicides, because those things are going to come and attack it, right? Keeping your eyes on American politics. If you have the election of a certain type of leader, some of these things will be in jeopardy because of where his mind is, right? And we are, for him, a certain whole country, and so our concepts, he ain't got no respect for it. So we have got to learn how to steward what we have, and I trust that the outcomes here will feed up to the powers that be.
Thank you very much,
right,
Terrence. Absolutely great
Thank
to have you. And
Thank you.
I'm happy that you're now hopeful.
Hopeful, man.
Strong faith in the region.
Yes.
Thank you again.